Hey traders, checking into the stock market today. Bulls unable to prove anything in terms of a bounce. Bears keep short-term control. FOMC tomorrow, and a little bit of a shakeup in the energy space. So checking in on the Nasdaq futures chart, we've got a stair-step drop the last few days and lower highs and lower lows on the hourly. Keep it simple. The hourly trend is our guide, and if we can't break lower highs, we're not going anywhere. And so just looking at QQQ, hourly, we had yesterday's resistance level, 281.22. Never broke that level at any point today. QQQ did break its high of the day, midday, but guess who did not? The S&P 500. So we only broke resistance by 29 cents before rolling over. Look at the 5-minute RSI. So yesterday I pointed out, 5-minute RSI hitting 70 marked our hourly lower high. And it was a 5-minute stair step. You could have even zoomed in. It was a 1-minute stair step pattern. If you don't know what that is, Google ChartGuys stair step. Today, 5-minute stair step, 5-minute RSI kissed 70. That marks the top. That is the exact opposite of as strong an uptrend as you can have. We know in the strongest uptrends, 5-minute oversold conditions mark hourly higher lows, and we keep heading higher. This is the exact opposite. We had a little bit of a rally into the close, but at this point, we know nothing significant is going to happen in terms of a bounce until the FOMC tomorrow. As I've said last time around, the 2 hours between 2 p.m. Eastern and 4 p.m. Eastern tomorrow matters less to me. I'm definitely paying attention. I'm definitely watching the price action and the initial reactions, but there's so often fake outs that I care a lot more about Thursday and Friday's action than I do the initial knee-jerk reaction to end the last couple of hours tomorrow. So that's what we're looking for in the short term. And essentially the question is, can we get a daily bounce going? If the answer is yes, we know we're scouting a daily lower high. We're going to be measuring what the bounce retracement is to help us determine whether it's a bear flag or not. And we're using the hourly trend as our guide, scouting a daily bounce. And patient bears are hoping for a daily bounce because they want to short daily lower highs. Burden on bulls to confirm hourly uptrends and trend changes for a daily bounce to be underway. S&P 500, same deal. So daily drop to lower lows. S&P 500 was a little bit weaker today. It varied, but overall it was weaker. And again, we look at SPY, hourly downtrend still very much intact from yesterday. High of today did not break it. Midday bounce was just another lower high. Hourly EMA 12 resistance for the last 4 days in a row. Nothing changing until the hourly trend changes. When it changes, we zoom out and scout the daily lower high. Semiconductors, same deal. We broke the low of yesterday, not a whole lot of follow through. So bears slowing some momentum down, but the FOMC reaction is going to determine whether a daily bounce gets going or not. Keep in mind, we're not oversold on the daily time frame on any of these 3 names that we just looked at. Could we see a bearish reaction to the FOMC? It's absolutely possible. We're not in any scenario where that would be astoundingly astounding. We've seen daily RSI get much more beat up than this. Yes, we've dropped fast and hard the last 4 days, but we're not at extremes. So I'll be heading into the FOMC fairly flat and waiting for a reaction because it can absolutely go either way. But in terms of what is the most likely scenario from here, I know that once a daily bounce gets going, the most likely scenario for me will be a daily lower high to be a result of that bounce. Watching the hourly uptrend as a guide to try and pinpoint when that daily lower high is being set. Tesla had a notably green day today comparatively. We did double top and reject from the high of yesterday by $1, but an hourly trend change is attempting to shape up. It still has to confirm. We still have to break that double top tomorrow to confirm an hourly uptrend. But if you compare it to SPY and QQQ, they are much different looking charts. So without even looking, again, our relative strength comparisons, I can pull up Tesla divided by QQQ and know that it had a big green day today just by seeing how their hourly charts are in comparison to each other. I guess not a huge green day. This is an equilibrium worth watching. This is relative strength of Tesla to QQQ, and the direction that it breaks is going to give us information. We are watching Bitcoin divided by the Nasdaq over the last few weeks. And that certainly gave us information with cryptocurrency dumping over the weekend. So keep an eye on how Tesla divided by QQQ breaks that equilibrium potentially tomorrow. If not tomorrow, probably before the end of the week. Healthcare is still very weak. The weakest sector today, the weakest major sector that I was watching. So getting a lot of follow through under the low of yesterday. And that is following through under the key weekly support break. 118.89 is a level from here. Hourly downtrend is our guide. And a whole bunch of space for a daily lower high to be the result of this next bounce. Financial sector also still weak at the lows. Nothing else to say. Same as everything else. Some decent bear follow through under the low of yesterday. Daily RSI is just getting oversold. We have bounced there in the recent past. We can see the daily RSI does not stay under 30 very long. Last time it did was the CVID dump. But the hourly downtrend is our guide. IWM had a support level, the low of the year, 168.46. That has now broken. So it was holding up better than some of our ETFs, but only just delayed by a day. Bear break there. And again, stair-step pattern, lower high every day, 5 days in a row. Tons of space for a daily lower high to be the result of any bounce. The biotech sector, 61.78, is still holding. So IWM broke its support, but XBI did not. Have to see an hourly trend change back to the bulls if that's going to mean anything. And then we would scout a daily lower high, anything under 74.67. People want me to look at the cannabis space. I don't have anything different to say than what I've been saying for a few months. The bears have absolute complete control. Yes, there are bounces on the way down, and those have decent percentage gains behind them, and they're usually fairly fast. But trying to pinpoint those bounces taking place is absolutely difficult. And again, we are just the extremes of the extremes. And, you know, I've seen 85% pullbacks in crypto, and I've seen 90% pullbacks in other cannabis names and spaces. This is a 94% pullback with bears in absolute control. So we'll bounce on the daily. We'll look for a daily lower high. We're just looking for short-term bear exhaustion at this point, but both Canadian and USMJ, MSOS is at all-time lows. Weekly bear flag confirming. RSI doesn't mean a thing in Black Dirt breakdown at price discovery to the downside. So again, we're in a scenario where this was the weakest sector when the market was at all-time highs, and it's done nothing but trade in line with the market once the weakness in the market started, just magnifying the weakness that we were already seeing. So again, I'm not giving up on the sector in the sense that this sector is going to be a vehicle where I make a good amount of profit. It's just not yet. And I don't care about investing, and I don't care about averaging down and bag holding. I care about jumping in on momentum. And I'm looking for that momentum, at least some of it, even if it's just a weekly bounce for 2 weeks. But into the fall and into the voting season, I'll be paying extra attention for any momentum shifts. But in the short term, again, there'll be bounces on the way down, but it is just bear feast. And it's hard to imagine without some kind of significant news catalyst that we would put in any kind of bottom before the broader market does. So the broader market, just like the CVID dump, the broader market found a bottom, and cannabis then shifted momentum after that and had very significant gains and far outpaced the S&P 500 on the way up, just like it did on the way down. But we are certainly not confident in any way of any kind of bottoms being set. Uranium names. Let's look at names that have setups for weekly higher lows. We know there's a ton of names where we've just set lower lows on the weekly time frame and hit the lows of the year. CCJ, uranium, is a weekly equilibrium with a very wide range that is constricting. We're going to look for a higher low compared to $20. Baba, also a very nice tightening range. We're going to look for a weekly higher low, anything above 78. NIO had a monster day today. They've got an event tomorrow, some product event. Look at that volume and that kind of day. 16, we dropped down to under 16. Just a quick little 20% bounce in one day. Weekly here. I can say this weekly chart is positioned really well for the bulls if we get any kind of temporary bottom in the broader market to help the first weekly trend change. When's the last time we saw a weekly higher low and higher high? I would say that we have not seen one since the all-time high. So this is an attempt at shaping up a longer-term trend change. And relatively speaking, the fact that we are 60% plus off of the lows just shows us a ton of relative strength. So Nio, Baba, CCJ, these names that are looking for weekly higher lows are positioned well when the broader market can find some kind of bottom. And Nio definitely getting my attention today. Hourly, actually shorted it today because we had this 15-minute head and shoulders pattern. So took advantage of that into the end of the day. 15-minute stair step, bull flag. It was just extremely strong. And even the hourly right now is a potential bull flag as well. So watching close because NIO bulls are looking ready to make a move with a little help from the broader market. LI is another one. Look at LI breaking out. Again, just extremely unusual. Highest prices that we've seen almost in the year, except for 1 or 2 days. It's the highest levels. How is that possible in this market environment? Somebody's buying. So NIO, LI, standing out. All right. Hope you have a good day. FOMC tomorrow. And we'll see how we settle in for the rest of the week. Don't forget to do good things. The most berry season. These blackberries probably halfway through forming, but these, what are these? These aren't wine berries. I forget. Some kind of raspberry. Very sour, but they're always ready first. And that was sour because it wasn't ready yet. Purple. These are wine berries with the fuzzy buds. These grow all around the property and just in the woods. Grapes are starting to form up.